The following podcast contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
The Showdown Podcast presents the Survivor Series with Corey Miller, Vic Miller, and Brad Scott. Today's episode, First Blood. Welcome to the Showdown Podcast presents the Survivor Series. This week's episode is First Blood, Rambo, the original Rambo, and normally we like to use music from the movies that to do like the bumpers and the intros and outros. And so this movie we've gone for the intro with the Nintendo version of the Rambo theme. If you remember this old Nintendo game like I do, it was great. Great game. There's a helicopter.
Oh, is that a helicopter?
That's the helicopter.
Oh,
yeah, that's the Nintendo. Yeah, they drop you off. Yeah, see, they drop you off and you have to escape through here and then get into the forest. It's a crazy game. So yeah, we actually just got done watching Rambo. And I'm joined, of course, by Showdown co-hosts Corey Miller and Vic Miller. Gentlemen, how are we?
I'm here.
Okay.
Always
Excellent.
full of words of wisdom there.
Off to a great start here.
Would you expect anything less?
No. So,
We understand that it's me and Brad talking to each other and you just kind of breathing.
I
so
chime
it's all
in
good.
with my wonderful one-liners.
just like that garden gnome that just sits there and every now and then just drive velocity. So, Corey, why don't you start off taking us through First Blood?
You want the plot synopsis here?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hear what it's about. What's it about? What's First Blood about?
A former Green Beret named John J. Rambo is pursued into the mountains surrounding a small town by a tyrannical sheriff and his deputies, forcing him to survive using his combat skills.
Okay, so you're just gonna literally read the back of the DVD cover there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Apparently.
Never
So-
ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, how's the movie start?
Well, he goes to one of his former what do they call battalion.
Brother?
Yeah, battalion brothers. I don't.
One of his-
Forgive me. I've
The
never.
military experience is really coming through.
What is his
on the
fellow
show.
Green Berets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
From his squad?
I have not been in the army. I don't know the correct vernacular there.
And
But he goes to his house to see him and finds out that he died. What they say, a year prior.
Yes.
Because of Agent Orange. So.
He went
that's
to go
orange shit that they spray.
He went to go see Bubba Gump, and Bubba Gump
Yeah,
was not there because
yeah.
Bubba Gump had died.
This is the original story of Forrest Gump.
He ran there
right, exactly.
across the country.
Yep. So he leaves. He's a little upset, and he leaves. And as he's walking through town, Brian Dennehy, who plays the sheriff, that's Tommy Boy's dad, he sees him and wants to know what he's doing there, and realizes that
He's a dick.
yeah, right from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it just...
Some dude says, "Hey, good morning, officer sheriff," and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta take a bath sometime this week."
See, everybody's like, police are just assholes nowadays. I mean, it's been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, NWA was talking about it in the early 90s, and here we are in the early 80s, and the cops are just dicks. That's just how it is.
So he's like, well, he gives him a lot of shit because he sees that he's wearing an army
Well, I will
jacket.
say this. This is how much our culture has changed, though, is because remember when we were watching it, and he's like, you got a lot of balls wearing that flag, and I'm like, I thought they were in the United States. I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
why is he not getting his dick sucked? That's what
what I'm trying to
happens,
figure
right?
out.
When you
He starts going off about it. I'm like, he's wearing an
You
American
yeah,
flag.
you had to go.
Like,
Oh yeah,
huh?
oh yeah. That back then, because of Vietnam, people didn't like It was like the complete. I was like
But the Americans didn't like the American flag.
Now, did
They didn't like these soldiers that came back. They spit on them.
Well, yeah.
So they wouldn't. So
the flag would be the
because it symbolized that he had gone to Vietnam.
Right.
It symbolized he was a soldier, and like that's. It took me a minute because nowadays we're so conditioned to soldiers can do no wrong.
Right.
You can't. It's not even that you can't say something negative about the troops, but you shouldn't say really anything negative about the troops anyways. It's not their fault. They're doing what they're told. You know.
No, I mean it's.
But hold on. It's not that you can't say something negative. You can't say anything that's other than gleamingly positive. Like you know.
Right. And it's even it's more expected that. If you see them, you go up to them and shake their hand, say thank you. That's what That's what.
I don't do that, but like I don't know if somebody if it comes up with me and I'll thank them or whatever. But I feel weird just doing the whole going up to him, thank you for your service. Because what if he's like, oh, dude, I'm like ROTC.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in high school.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they ever said what year this was set, did they?
Well, I mean, it would have had to been in after like 73.
So that's what I'm wondering because with Vietnam being in '69, but this was made in '82. It was really hard.
Okay, so it's based on the 1972 novel, so I'm assuming it's probably around that time.
Okay.
It's probably set, mid 70s, or it could. I mean, honestly, I don't. It's not like going from the 90s to 2000s where you'd see significant differences from like 70s to early 80s.
Right.
So anyhow, the sheriff starts giving him shit. And so
he just wanted some food.
Yeah, he just wanted
brother just wanted to eat.
He's like, well, let me give you a ride. He asked him where he's going. He's like, I'm going south. I'm going to Portland. Well, that's south, which was apparently the other direction. So he's like, let me give you a ride. So he gets in. He takes him out, drops him off. And as the sheriff turns back around and looks in his rearview mirror and sees that Rambo's coming back. So then he gets pissed and tries to arrest him. It ends up arresting him. Which from there, when
if that was a brother, he would have been shot.
Having that knife?
Yeah, he would have been done. They're like, he's got a weapon. Blam.
He ran at me.
And there's no dash cam, so there's no you couldn't prove anything. So anyhow, when he's back at the sheriff's station, they take the hose to him to clean him up, and they attempt to give him a shower, which at that point he ends up fighting back.
That's the thing is like, man, like dude, like you come on, like really, this is the way he's walking.
Well, looking at the guy when he strips down, they see how much damage he's taken. They see he's in a military jacket. They know he has dog tags. They see how cut up he is. You have to assume this dude was probably a POW, and at least give him a little bit of latitude.
Yeah, yeah, and nobody does. David Caruso is the only one that even wants to help him.
Well, no, he didn't really want to
help him.
He was just afraid of him.
Well, he's just like, he's like, give the dude a break,
yeah. He had sympathy for him.
Yeah,
he had sympathy for him. So anyhow, Rambo fights back and busts out.
He literally beats the shit out of every cop in that building.
They were gonna dry shave him though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you ever tried that
with a straight razor?
Yeah.
With anything.
With a straight razor.
Ugh.
No.
Yeah, I don't use shaving lotion. I just do it that way. Well, I don't now.
You have to use a
obviously
weed whacker.
with a big ass beard. No, I don't now. But yeah, I mean, you during that when he's beating up everybody, you didn't want to come around that corner. You're going to get drop kicked, which happened a couple times. So anyhow, as he's running out, he grabs a knife. He grabs his big ass Bowie knife and runs out and heads for the woods where he attempts to hide through most of the movie.
Into the woods.
That's a whole nother movie. So he takes off for the woods, and he doesn't really take off for the woods. He just gets out of there, knocks a guy off his motorcycle, hops on it, takes off on the motorcycle.
That was great.
And this is the part that got me. Like they're on this chase, which couldn't have been more than about 20 minutes in real time. He ends up in the woods, the cop, the sheriff's following him in his squad car, and Rambo was continuously going on smaller and smaller trails. And Brian Dennehy's smart ass decides, I'm going to follow him on foot trails with a car. and ends up flipping into a gulch and looks surprised that it happened, which made no sense whatsoever.
And he gets away, and then we noticed this, he calls for backup, and the backup is there literally in
no time.
2 minutes.
Right.
And again, if it had been if somebody would have called the cops because a black guy got shot, this shit would have taken. It would have been a 5-hour movie.
They
it would
mobilized.
It would have been First Blood Part 2, but Part 2 would have been just because Part 1 would have just been people waiting, just waiting on somebody to show up because the black guy was dead, and then Part 2 would have been the action.
But they mobilized a guy with the dogs, 5 cops.
And a helicopter
in
2
with
minutes.
Another cop in it, and a cop at the end of the fucking logging road as base camp. So they mobilized all of this in a matter of minutes. No cell phones, no nothing. So he would have had to climb back into that car and call on the radio.
And he got a half a mile ahead of him.
Right. That was it. That was it.
I don't even know it's a half a mile.
And so they spot him, and with the helicopter.
Well, despite his camouflage that he created for himself, his poncho.
Yeah, his poncho.
To hide himself.
That poncho was according to my sources, was a large piece of rotten canvas that was not a prop. It was just there. And Stallone had joked that how the canvas became a treasured prop on the set just because it was there. And after filming ended, he kept it. So he still has it. So, and that was just basically a poncho that he created out of this canvas.
With a rope from a box truck.
Yeah, with a rope from a box truck.
You actually figured out what something interesting was. I was proud of you.
Thank you.
So they, so the helicopter finds him, and the dickiest of all the dick cops sees him and they were supposed to take him in alive, but he just starts shooting at him.
Yeah.
And they're in this wind turbine, so he's not getting a good shot, which I like that because that it kind of they didn't just leave it as this guy's a horrible shot, even though he's been a police officer for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's it's windy, hold it still, I can't.
But he's not smart enough
added
to realize
realism.
he should have strapped himself to the helicopter.
He was angry, Vic. He was angry. He was angry. He was angry. I was just happy they explained why he was a bad shot.
White and angry.
They never do that. And I was like, okay, this is the most realistic 18 missed gunshots in a row that I can buy. Because normally it's in Star Wars or some bullshit where they just are randomly missing for no reason.
Right.
But Rambo grabs a rock, throws it, hits the windshield of the helicopter,
We
which
forgot his cliffhanger. Though.
He's got such aim.
He was hanging from the cliff.
oh, that's right,
Yeah, that's a big piece. He's hanging from he decided for whatever reason he was going to try to scale down the side of that gulch, that cliff, to get away from them. And then the helicopter shows up and he stops moving. I'm like, you were climbing a second ago. Why don't you keep trying to climb down? But I understand he's shooting at you, but sitting there just as an open target. So he decides rather than just hanging there to jump.
Yeah. And it reminded us that, man, we should have done Cliffhanger
Right.
for this. That's a way more interesting. This is a good movie, but that's a way more interesting one. That opening scene, though. Can we just talk about Cliffhanger for...
You know what? I've never watched it.
You've never seen Cliffhanger?
Nope.
What?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
We might have to make this a dual episode and watch that shit now. Oh, yeah, Vicky. No.
Yeah.
Okay, it has maybe the greatest opening sequence of any movie ever. You don't even remember hearing about that?
No, I think I've seen that opening. I think I've seen that on TV.
What's the big thing that happens?
He's just hanging from that cliff, right, by one hand.
You haven't seen the opening scene.
That's the still shot they always show of
Yeah,
him doing this.
there's a reason that opening scene was so popular. So many people talked about it because it was I don't want to give it away.
He's got to see it.
Yeah, you really have to watch. That's the next episode of Survivor Series featuring Cliffhanger.
God, we get so Stallone's too eccentric.
Man, I wish you had seen it so we could talk about that opening scene right now. But I don't. It's not that we care about spoiling it for you. It's just I want to know what your reaction is after you see it. So, anyways, all right, back to the movie we're doing.
Now we're at the rock.
So now he throws the rock at the windshield, and it knocks the pilot. Like he's like, oh, and then it moves, and the guy falls out of the helicopter. The dick cop falls out and dies, and Rambo goes up and steals his jacket that he never wore for some reason. Did you notice that?
Yeah. He never put it on.
Why would you not? Especially trying to blend in around there.
I was thinking maybe he took it to like mask his scent, so he smelled like the cop rather than himself to the dogs or something. But then he never put it on. I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Now, did he get that poncho after he got the
No.
No. He already had the poncho.
Did he already? Okay.
And he still took the coat.
Okay.
Maybe he was just like, you a bitch. I'm going to take your coat.
I got your coat.
You
bitch.
dead, man. I'm going to take your coat.
take your shoes,
your
too.
dead body's going to be cold. Colder.
Yeah.
And so he also takes the gun and
Heads for the woods.
Heads into the woods.
He tried to turn himself in. He was like, "Hey, I didn't do this.
Yeah, I don't want anybody else to die."
Like he was trying to be noble and trying to give him. I think he was trying to give himself up. I mean,
Kinda.
It seemed like he had his hands up and.
Yeah,
he was
and then
like,
they
"I don't
shot
wanna
at
get
him.
hurt," and then they started shooting at him. He was like,
And then also they shot him apparently in the face.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
never mentioned that again.
You
And
never
there
see
was never
scar
even a
either.
mark.
Like, there's no scar on
No,
his
there
face
wasn't.
or anything. But you saw like when that first couple shots went off, he like grabbed the side of his face and grunted and like fell into the end of the ground. So like it looks like he took a shot to the face.
But yeah, apparently not, because there's no other evidence
Yeah.
of that
No scar.
through the rest of the movie.
The only problem he has is that stupid cut in his arm from falling through the tree.
Yeah, that's like barely a cut, and he's like, I should probably put some stitches in
Right.
this.
Just
Good thing I have
just showing
a
that
needle and thread in my knife.
under my compass.
My knife, yeah, under my knife that unscrews. I thought that was a flask. How great would that have
If you
been?
owned it, it would have been a flash.
No, I would have had weed. Would have had weed and a one hitter.
Built right into the handle.
And
We got to design that for you.
I kind of have one of those
That's not
already.
special.
It's a Diet Coke can that the lid screws off.
Somebody may be listening.
The modern day version.
Yeah, I don't ever have enough weed for it to be worth a cop's time, anyways. Yeah. So
he heads to the woods after getting.
Yeah, he's in the woods, and
And the cops all come down.
they're all and that was a really cool sequence because again
That's where they have the dogs.
yeah
That's
he
the
just
dog
he's
raisers.
quick moving because he builds like 12 booby traps
Right. In quick succession.
and like less than an hour.
And a scarecrow.
And the time.
Oh, that's it. That's it. That's what it was.
Oh, that's why he got the jacket.
That's
was
what
for
he
the
did with
scarecrow.
Because he's like, that's not
that's
him.
right. I forgot. Yeah,
He'd
you're right.
stuffed that jacket full of shit, so they thought he was standing on that ridge.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Because it really was bothering
Our
me somebody
bad.
did with that jacket.
Our bad, John. Our bad, John.
Good job, JJ
You know what?
Rambo.
That's for all of us.
Well, in the time it,
And that's for you, Corey.
and the time it took for,
Okay, I'm sorry.
thank you, for all those cops to get down. That's when he was. That's why he didn't get away because he was doing all that stuff.
Building all the booby traps and
Yeah.
stuff. That's still impressive because, like, I don't even think I could build a cross out of sticks,
Two sticks in a row.
in that amount of time. Yeah, I don't even think I would be able to handle that. And you could be like, it can be a small cross. It doesn't have to be big. It's just a cross, and I'd be like, I'll probably need 3 or 4 hours.
So he built a scarecrow that was legit enough for them to think it was him standing on the ridge. He sharpened about 20 sticks to make a punji trap.
Oh, more than that because he had several.
Well,
and
that's
he
what I'm
had
saying.
some.
Like, he did for the
and
punji
he-
trap, and then he made that stupid sling trap too. That
Well,
stabbed
but
people.
he also just had some in his pocket.
That he was
Remember, because he
stabbing
stuck.
people, yeah.
He stuck him into.
They sent the dogs after him up on the ridge. He shoots 2 dogs,
Poor doggies.
2 Dobermans, and the one guy held on to one of the dogs.
Are
for whatever
either of you because my good friend Television's Dave Landau, he's told me before that like he he gets angry if a dog dies or gets killed in a movie.
Okay.
Even though he knows it's like, hey, like, you know, that angers him. People, he can watch, you know, Schindler's List and be fine.
Did he see John Wick?
I think so, yeah. But
he
he,
hate
but
that
he also
movie?
loves the fact that it's a revenge. Yeah, because he said he loves the fact that it's a revenge story about a guy for his dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but like, are you either of you that way?
I mean, it doesn't. I love dogs, but I'm not going. It doesn't really hit me that hard that they did something to the animal in the movie.
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't.
I kind of thought you would, because
because I've got a fucking.
we live in
house.
in a not. I don't want to say a zoo, because you don't have like large animals, but
A
like
menagerie.
a terrarium. Is that a good?
Yeah.
I think they would call it an animal menagerie.
It's something I said you could charge people.
For those that don't know, which is pretty much everybody, I have 4 fish tanks full of snails, fish, and oxalatas.
A dog?
The fuck they're called. A dog, a parrot, 3 guinea pigs.
What do they call it? The crabs? Don't you have those?
I've
too?
got about. I think there's like 6 crabs.
Not the ones in your shorts.
2. No, not those. I'm not counting those. And 2 parakeets. I think 2 of the smaller birds.
The fact that you've lost count, that tells us
and a
everything we
lizard.
need to know.
That's it. Oh, and a guinea pig. Or a hedgehog.
And is it named Sonic?
I wanted to name it Sonic. I got overruled.
What
I
is it?
remember
What
when
is
you
it
got we were
named?
talking about it.
It's Mary from Sherlock. Mary. What's Sherlock's? Mary Holmes. What's? You know Holmes and Sherlock.
Watson?
Watson. Yes, Mary Watson. That's its name. Thank you.
What?
My daughter likes the TV show Sherlock.
Sherlock TV show.
But does she not understand Sonic's a hedgehog?
did.
Like a hedgehog is Sonic,
I know it. She wouldn't go for it.
or even like maybe Herbie.
No, well, I wanted to, since it's a girl. I actually wanted the girl. The girl.
Rose.
No,
Yes, her name was Rose. It's from Sonic.
it's on Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Rose. Trust me, dude.
There's another one. There's another one.
Tails.
That's
No,
a fox.
That's a fox. I don't know. I'll,
Or he's
I'll
a
figure
gay
it out.
fox. But you do realize that like it's a damn good thing. Like you and Carissa are married. Because if either of you single, you would be the creepiest people with this many amount of animals. But because you're a family and you have a daughter that you're pushing towards that, it's adorable and it's awesome. But if she ever left you and you had even half the animals, she'd get by fine because your daughter's going to probably be a vet from what I see on Facebook. You
Yes,
would just be the creepy guy that has way too many pets at his house.
So back to the movie.
Hey, who was that old guy you were talking to at the bar? I don't know, but he asked if I wanted to see a snail.
He said something about a chocolate.
He said he has a hedgehog. He has a hedgehog for me.
I think that's a euphemism, but I'm not sure.
But no, it's awesome. Your daughter's definitely gonna be a vet though.
Yeah,
Like,
most likely.
yeah, and she'll probably end up being like a famous one too. She cares a lot about animals, man. I wish my daughter was passionate about something like that. My daughter's changes every week.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but
she's still young too, though.
Yeah.
What
The hell is that?
is that? Me?
That's you.
That was you.
What the hell was that?
Oh, you're getting it now.
God, what was that? What was that even playing?
I don't know.
Was it at least like Rambo something?
No.
Of course not.
And the mics probably didn't even pick it up either.
I don't care. We heard
Oh,
it.
we heard it. It got picked up.
All right, so back to Rambo.
So,
Back to Rambo.
They let the dogs. They let loose
let
the
the
dogs.
dogs-
The dogs die.
Who let the dogs out?
Yes, exactly.
Who?
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 Who let the dogs out? They let the dogs go, and you hear 2 gunshots. You hear the dogs yelp, and then gunfire erupts, and they all fucking hit the dirt. He shoots the dog handler in the kneecap, or in the leg, and they give him a tourniquet, which we found out that Corey had no idea.
I didn't either.
Really? You guys
Yeah, I didn't know.
notice at all?
No, we learned something. Like
wow.
this is good. We learned something. Life hack.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ever get shot and you tie a
You
tourniquet,
get shot in the thigh, you're
Well,
good to go.
what do you have to do, Vic?
So he gets shot in the thigh, and they put a tourniquet on. He tells Cruiser to take his belt off and hurry the hell up because it was taking him 10 years to get his belt off, to put a tourniquet on the guy's leg to slow the bleeding so he didn't bleed out. And he told him every 15 minutes you need to release that tourniquet to release the pressure, which is actually a thing.
How long do you release it for?
It's not like, I think they said it's like every 15 minutes or so.
No.
You have to just-
But how? I mean, you obviously can't just let the tourniquet go.
Oh no! You relieve it's pressure. So after a while, the pressure builds up, and you're going to be in pain. So you let it go, you relieve the pressure, and then you cinch it back.
See, that's why it would be bad because I'm like, well, how fucking long am I supposed to leave it undone and then redo it?
You come back and it's undone. He's just laying there.
Wait, what's that? Wait. Did I retie that at 8:27 or 8:37?
Well, back then you wouldn't be able to look it up on your iPhone, so you'd really be in trouble.
Yeah, you couldn't set a timer or anything.
Nothing. You have to like count,
Better hope you got a watch.
right? So they take off after him, and when they realize that it's a scarecrow and not him standing at the top of the ridge, they take off after him, and that's when all the fun ensues of him basically taking each one of them out one by one.
That was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, like that scene. Those scenes were awesome, except for when the idiot goes, "Let's split up."
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Oh, he's been picking us off one by one. You know what? Isolate ourselves. That's a good
Right.
plan.
It really didn't make much sense because they knew the direction he's in. What's the point of splitting up? You should just all go together as a group, and it theoretically it didn't make any sense.
Well, he
but
broke one guy's arm. He stabbed one guy through the leg with a punji stick. He caught the one guy on the one trap. And
With the long one.
right.
And he tied one.
Yeah,
one.
And tied one up,
Throat
yeah.
tied one to the tree.
And then he put a knife up to Brian Dennehy's fourth chin.
Threatened to kill him.
And threatened to kill
and
him.
Start a war that the likes he'd never seen before.
Has that been playing this whole time?
No.
Only for
I just
Dennehy to start crying like a bitch.
I think that's Dennehy. I'm serious. Yeah, and then you got to run through there.
No one has any idea what you're doing right now. He's nostalgic about the old.
I
Rambo
really,
game.
because I forgot about that game until we were trying to find a
He's gonna
song
go
for
and
it,
find an
and
emulator so he can play it again.
I kind of want. Well, no, I might buy one of those things. You know what I'm
The
talking about?
Nintendo emulator?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
An
they have
emulator?
emulator.
I thought emulator was like wait, on a computer.
They have an emulator for your phone. You can actually play it right on your phone.
No. I want to get like they have the things where it has the controller and everything.
Oh,
Yeah, I got the Atari one right over there.
Ooh, yeah. See, I want to get the Nintendo one. At Old Disc Replay has them available in Indianapolis, Indiana. Our good buddies over at
Have
Disc
you seen
Replay.
the portable? It's a portable Nintendo that you can put the old cartridges in, but it's just a handheld version. It's about the size of this, and you take the actual cartridge and slide it in the back of it.
Do you have
can
to blow
play
into the
cartridge
cartridge?
games. Well, probably not anymore. The technology's come up.
That is awesome.
It's just like a giant Game Boy kind of handheld unit that uses the old cartridges.
Like, do you guys do? I don't know. Like, I watch a lot of nostalgic stuff. Like when I'm bored or something. If it's late at night, if I'm trying to like think of jokes or whatever, because I've been trying to write a lot more about my generation. So one thing I've been doing is like I'll play a video game, but then I'll have like on the iPad, I'll have like YouTube up of like 90s commercials, and it's just reminding me of like all those old like remember the two blimp guys from McDonald's that were like oh, what he thought about double cheeseburger? McDonald's got it $1. Oh, we got to go stop by there, blimp guy. Yeah.
I think I remember that.
They're like
I
yeah,
vaguely
they were like the
remember that.
two crazy. Do you remember the creepy Energizer or Duracell family?
Oh,
Like they were all ran, and then
Yep.
it was somebody kind of famous, I think, that
Were
did
they
one of the
Australian?
voices. Huh?
Were they like Australian? It
No.
said oi.
They were like the dude's like, he'd always be like, oh, his neighbor was the guy that used the generics. Like the all-American family, but they were really creepy. You know what?
You're gonna go.
I'm
look
gonna
for
pull it up.
All right, you look for it. We'll continue going over this plot here.
So Dennehy gets caught by the throat.
Oh,
as
real
he's-
quick, they also include the commercial bumpers on some of the videos from like the Saturday morning.
Yeah, like-
This is the
Hanker for a hunk of cheese.
after these
We'll
messages.
be right back.
Oh, everybody, I've done that too. And you have to finish it when somebody says it. It's one of those things.
And everyone knows the exact cadence to it,
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same.
No one gets that wrong. But the guy that had the strap around his throat against the tree, Dennehy comes up and sees him, and Rambo apparently was sitting right next to him the whole time, pops up with his big knife at his neck, and tells him to let him be, or he's going to start a war that he's not going to let, of the likes he's never seen before, and takes off. And Dennehy proceeds to start crying like a bitch, which I thought was ridiculous.
Oh, you're talking about the ads with the people with the batteries in their backs.
Yeah,
the battery family.
That's what he said.
I didn't know what you. That I remember now. Yeah.
And you'll say, "Vamos!" Yeah.
I guess those no batteries sure do last.
Yeah, those people aren't creepy at all. Anyhow.
Say they're not?
No, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he then takes off, and Dennehy decides that maybe they should regroup. So he's calling for the helicopter to come back, and he's telling him he won't come back because that guy's probably freaked the fuck out that he threw a rock at his helicopter, which again just didn't. Okay, so you hit your helicopter with a rock. He's not going to take it down like a rocket launcher.
Well, no. But remember that they were he was in a wind gust. He said that specifically, so it threw him off. I mean, if somebody hits something like that, and it's a large enough impact to crack the windshield. If you were driving, you'd probably lose control of your car for a minute. And I'm sure if you're in a wind gust and you lose control for a second, he probably had to keep it really steady. So I'd imagine any little turn would cause it to go, haywire.
I'm just thinking it was a little over dramatic for the situation in my book, but I get it.
He got freaked out. He's like, "Fuck."
You ever been there, Vic?
What?
You ever been there?
In the helicopter.
When somebody threw a rock at the windshield that cracked it while you were in the middle of a wind gust?
Hanging out of it with a gun.
And you're flying?
And I'm flying, no.
Yeah.
There you got me.
See?
There you got
me. A lot of pressure. Those guys should be able to hit those free throws. Well, it's a little different when you're in front of 20,000 people screaming at you, and you're in front of millions. Anyways.
So while they regroup, Rambo takes off. Is this when he goes into the mine shaft now? At this point?
Yeah, because don't they fire that bazooka thing at him?
That's later on.
Oh.
They go back. They go back down the mountain to basically
this is where
fix all the guys, and that's where the military shows up. At this point, that's when the military shows up.
I would say this is also when he isn't this when he's like he finds the boar or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and cooks.
Yeah, well they're having the whole conversation with him. Well they're having the two cops, the state police guy, and Brian Dennehy are having the conversation because he came back down off. They all came down off the mountain to get patched up. And he's like, the one guy walks in, he's like, "Yeah, well, they said that they did this." And Brian Dennehy's like, "Shut the fuck up. Don't tell him what we did." It's like, why are you talking about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, and then the one dude tells him, he's like, "You're just lucky I'm surprised he let all of you live."
Yeah, that's when Troutman shows up.
He's a one-man killing machine.
Now Troutman that you talk about, who was
his commanding officer.
His first name is Samuel. Now, if you remember, there's a line in there that said, "You created him." Now, if you think Uncle Sam created. Yeah.
I see.
There was something else, too. Hold on.
You're generous.
What do you mean generous? That was good. Oh, well, continue.
So Troutman, and just as quick as he gets,
should have known.
So Troutman shows up and starts giving him the background on Rambo about what he did and where he came from.
Killing machine.
And that he has a special set of skills.
He will find you.
And that basically that he was the guy that they sent in to kill everybody when no one could get through. And then he and those guys are like, he's just a man. We have 200 people. We'll get him, whatever. And no one was moving. Like that entire time they were talking all that shit about how they were going to get him, they're all still just sitting in the camp.
Hey, Vic, if you're sending in 200 men, you know what you should take with you?
What's that?
A lot of body bags.
Exactly.
Now through the whole movie,
Corey would have been like, when I said, you know what you should take with you, he would have been like, a lot of body bags.
there,
I don't know why he would have said it like that.
yeah, that commanding officer has a lot of resentment towards Rambo throughout the whole film. Now, what the book says.
Wait, you mean Dennehy?
No.
Troutman. Has a lot of resentment?
I did not notice
I didn't
an
get
ounce
that.
of resentment.
Like, he wanted him
He
to-
was on his side, and he was kind
Oh
of...
wait, it says who's Tessel?
Please tell me that was Dennehy.
That-
Please tell me that was... Is that Dennehy?
Dennehy.
There's no way that. Well, let me read to you what this says.
No. You're doubling up, buddy.
Now, this says, a plot point that was present in the novel but absent from the film was the primary reason behind Tessel's resentment and contempt towards Rambo, which was that Rambo was a veteran of the Vietnam War, which gained a lot of attention, whereas Tessel was a veteran of the Korean War, a war most people had all but completely forgotten at that point.
Well, didn't they... No, they said Dennehy was in Nam, right?
No.
I don't
Because
think
remember,
this-
he was like, you think he's the only one that's...
Yeah, well, I don't think he was saying that he was the only. He was saying he was the only. You think he's the only one that's seen war, but I think Dennehy is older than him.
Okay, I
He's
thought they
probably
said
in Korea.
Vietnam. in general. Okay,
Yeah,
so they played up that he didn't like him because he was a Vietnam veteran,
Right.
but they didn't play up the reason.
Yeah,
Okay, would have made a little more sense, I guess.
Wasn't the Korean War after Vietnam? I can't remember.
You're asking me to remember a historical. I'm not sure. You have to look it up, but I don't.
Maybe it
think
was
so.
before. Maybe it was right before.
I don't think it was. I think Vietnam came after the Korean War.
You're the one with the best laptop, by the way.
But
You're the one could easily Google this
I was
stuff.
hoping that somebody might know, and I wouldn't.
I
have
don't
to-
know enough about. You know, I'm not very smart, right? Like, I'm on this show because I'm the most entertaining, not because I'm the smartest.
Well, Vic is older, so I thought that he might have some kind of idea.
You lived it.
I was born right after the Vietnam War.
No. Korean War began in 1950.
50 to 53.
It was before.
Yep.
You're just thinking of MASH
Vietnam
came
ended in
after
73,
the Vietnam War.
74.
Yeah, I think that must be.
You're. I think that is honestly it. Like Matt, you're like, oh well, MASH.
Right.
Masters on the
He
80s.
just puts everything in context of TV shows.
You mean to tell me Hawkeye came out before the Vietnam War? Yes. So that would have been a better way to play it up. Don't you think they should have used that a little more?
Hold on. I'm thinking, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he was the guy that died from the helicopter. That's why he had so much angst against
Oh,
him.
that's possible.
Oh, Tessel?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the one, whatever.
So he decides that they're going to try to go back after him. Meanwhile, Rambo is just kind of setting up camp. He's created a spear with his big knife, and he finds a boar that just happened to be walking by at the perfect moment for dinner, and jumps down and kills it.
Which makes me wonder how. Is that area known for having boars?
Well, I mean, there were people out there hunting, so it's very possible. I mean, it's not. The guy said that when they were going up the mountain, he said that they were out there like a week ago hunting, and he bagged 2 whatevers.
Oh, I didn't hear
there was
that.
a whole conversation had about that. But my thing is he jumped down and kills this boar, right? He apparently carved up this boar and took it back to the cave. Set a booby trap that we never see go off for no reason. Like he stops and he gets that one branch and puts it in front of something in front of that.
You
thing.
can
So
never have too many booby traps.
He apparently created some sort of a booby trap that never pays off. Then he goes down into the mine and apparently lights a fire and cooks an entire leg shank of a boar in like a matter of minutes.
I was impressed he got it like cut clean off.
Yeah.
Like that too.
It looked like when he was carrying it back that he had cut the thing in half.
No, it was just its hind shank. It was its back leg and its hip
Okay.
over his shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
But he had to have he took that thing in there. I'm sorry, but I cook for my family on a regular basis, and over an open fire, that pig would not have cooked that quickly because not a lot of time went by. And he was eating that.
Well, I'm sure he had worse when he in Vietnam.
And they did say that. He's like, you don't know what he's eating out there.
Yeah, he probably had worse, and so that was actually cooked compared to what he's probably had in the past.
So through the course of this whole thing, they're talking about everything that he's been through, and they're trying to figure out how to get to him.
And they're and the colonel is telling him, like, just back off, let him go, and then you'll find him in a couple of weeks peacefully, and he'll go peacefully. And again, that's when they talk about the body bags and everything else. And he's 200 to 1, so
He's like, if you want to catch him, why don't you help us? And then they call him on the radio.
yeah.
They're like, hey, John, or Rambo, or whatever, you should give yourself up. You're surrounded, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And he's like, hey, why don't you talk to him and see if he'll talk to you, so we can get a fix on his location using an oscilloscope and a radar kind of thing, whatever that thing was.
And he kind of tells the colonel about the guy dying and the reason and everything else, and he keeps him on there. They find the location, and that's when they corner him at the mine,
Right.
and blow up the mine. But he jumps in
And
it.
it's so weird because all of those guys are apparently weekend warriors. They're the National Guard for that area, obviously. And the main guy, I guess their captain, their field captain, is like the guy that runs the drugstore. And everyone else that's there are like neighborhood people. But there's this one guy who's laying on his back. Like the guys are on they're behind the little berm. There's a guy laying on his back, looking to the left the entire time that they're having this interaction. It's the weird because it looks like he's dead. It looks like Rambo killed him.
Oh yeah.
But like I don't know what that guy was doing, but he's just laying there, and you can see his eyes going back and forth, like looking at things. But he never moves.
He's like the fat guy from Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah, that's exactly what he looked like too. And he's just kind of looking around. I'm like, what is that guy doing? But he never moved the entire time. So they have him trapped inside of the mine shaft, the mine that he found. And they call the dude up with a rocket launcher after they were told by Dennehy, don't kill him. We want to bring him in alive. They pull out a rocket launcher because that's how you don't kill somebody in a mine shaft.
Right.
And yeah, he goes through there. He battles some rats.
Right.
He makes these torches.
After it blows up.
After it blows up, when he's below, he goes into the mine, and he then finds an alternative way out that's like 7 feet away from the base camp,
Right.
Like the last place he'd want to be.
Yeah. Well, that and apparently they knew the mine. How did they not know where that came out?
How great would it have been if he would have looked out the mine and went, must have taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque. And then so then he takes off and he escapes, unnoticed, and attacks this guy driving a truck of explosives.
Who apparently did not hear him land on the roof of the
Not explosives.
Well,
M60.
although I will say, sometimes when you're trying to light a cigarette and you're driving, you take a lot of focus just to do that.
Make sure you don't crash.
That could have happened to me.
He's like, what's in the truck? M60s. Why did they need M60s and like 5 bazillion freaking rounds for this one guy?
Well, you saw that they have M16s, and he was fighting those off. So we got to go bigger.
And he takes the truck off and drives it to a gas station.
In town.
Back into the town.
Instead of leaving.
Which, by the way, we did notice on several occasions. The time frame for this movie was badly edited, to be honest. So you have that point where they first took off from town, where he took off on the motorcycle and he drove out of town and then like ended up in the woods, and how short of a trip that was. Then the trip from those same woods back to the town took twice as long, and it was daytime. But then, like within 10 seconds, it flips to nighttime in the exact same scene.
Okay, I do have some information on that I don't know if this is directly in response to that or what the I don't know if this is because of that, but the first cut of the movie was over 3 hours long. Now, as you guys know, this one we saw was only an hour and a half, so it's possible that the stuff that's in between it getting dark and him driving away, that stuff was all cut out, and so that would make sense with that all put back in there. The
Oh,
time
okay.
frame.
So he's driving back at a later time,
Right.
Because there was other shit that happened.
Yeah, quite possibly. To finish that, Stallone, it's over 3.5 hours long, and according to Stallone, it was so bad that it made him and its agent sick. Stallone wanted to buy the movie and destroy it, thinking that it was a career killer. After heavy re-editing, the film was cut down to 93 minutes, which is what we saw, and it was the one released in the theaters. I'm not sure.
Well, originally, he didn't want to play the character anyway, so I'm sure all those extra things, said he's like, oh, I don't think I want to really do this anyway, and then having all that put on top of him too. That's a lot of fucking time for a movie.
If he didn't want to play the character originally, I wonder if they talked him into it by saying, "Hey, you can rewrite some of the story then," because he is credited as writing.
It went through 26 screenplay drafts before they actually settled on this one. So I'm sure he probably did have something to do with the final creative thing. But with that said, with him not wanting to do it originally, Steve McQueen was originally was one of the people that they wanted to have for it.
Was he still alive at that time?
Apparently, Paul Newman.
I would think he would have
Eastwood.
been too old.
Clint Eastwood. Yeah, he was back then.
No,
yeah,
McQueen.
Clint Eastwood. Al Pacino
Hoo-ah.
For Rambo?
for Rambo.
Oh, I could not see that.
Robert De Niro. Nick Nolte,
Sober?
I guess. John Travolta. He was way too young. Way too young.
Hey, I don't want to get anybody else.
Yeah, because Welcome Back, Kotter was probably.
Or
Hey.
Dustin Hoffman.
Oh,
was
I
another
could not
one.
see that.
That's some weird choices. Mm-hmm. Back in that time, because like looking at them
Nothing
in
is
that
old
time frame, like how young all those guys were, even though they're like, grizzled guys now, but they were like super young looking back then. The director chose Stallone and offered it to Stallone because of the popularity of Rambo. They're like, we'll put
Rocky?
Stallone in there. Rocky, sorry, they'll put Stallone in there, and it'll be an instant hit. So
And they were kind of right?
yeah.
It was a hit, right?
Once
they had
they got it down to a
3
manageable
sequels.
size, apparently.
3 or how many sequels did they have?
There was 3, and then they came out with
3, wait, originally 3 movies or 3 sequels?
3 movies. There was
Okay.
1, 2, and First Blood, then 2, then 3, and then they had Rambo came out probably
2008.
2008, and there hasn't been any.
Did either of you see that?
Yes,
Was it any good?
it wasn't bad.
He retired the character in that movie.
Yeah.
Does he die at the end?
No, I don't think so.
He just kind of fades off into obscurity, kind of deal.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there's a lot. It's pretty gory.
Really?
Yeah. At one point, he's on a gun turret, and it's just going off for like a whole minute and a half, just spraying people. It's amazing. I'm still trying to get over.
Is he in Iraq or Afghanistan?
Where was he? I can't remember where he was.
Somewhere where I'm sure there's brown people, right?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
still trying to
he
get
was,
over.
'cause it was the Arabic guys on the horses came and saved them.
Yeah.
Came and helped them.
Yeah. I forget. Julie Delpy.
like-
Julie Benz.
It's like Corey's fantasy movie. He just shot a lot of brown people over and over again.
Rambo's my new hero.
I didn't even know you could wear out a digital copy of a movie.
Which apparently we found out today that you can do
Oh,
that
yeah.
without even watching it one time. So
That was a DVD player.
another canceled person that was in this was for Troutman was Kurt Douglas was supposed to play Troutman and was actually given the role and was supposed to be filming when he gave them an ultimatum that said, you better make Rambo die at the end of this or I'm out.
Damn.
And he was out. So the guy that plays Troutman actually was brought in like the day before shooting for that scene. So he had to learn all the lines and do everything like on the spot right there.
That
So
guy
it
was
pretty
good. He was better than I bet. Kurt.
So he said he would only do the movie if they killed Rambo? Mm-hmm. What?
That was it. He gave him an ultimatum.
Not very smart.
No.
Did you know the name Rambo came from a variety of apples of the same name?
Rambo apples?
Rambo apples, yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Hey, thank you.
So let's get back to the movie because we're We're starting. I'm starting to feel like I was watching the end, where I'm just like, man, it feels like this is going on a little bit too long. He blows up the gas station, and then he hides out. Where's he hide out?
He goes over. He blows up the gas station. Then he starts shooting out the lights and the power and the bigger buildings around the police station. And while he has them distracted at the gas station, he goes over to the hunting store, the sporting goods store, I guess, in the town.
Yeah, it was like a gun shop.
And starts making
Gander Mountain.
Exactly. Bass Pro Shop. He starts making a mountain of ammo out of all of the things. And I was watching going, what the hell is he going to do with these bullets? It's not going to work in his gun. But he was actually just making another distraction. And he poured gunpowder out and made one of those Bugs Bunny gunpowder trails.
Yeah, that it lights it back all the way.
It and went back and exploded to get their attention. And then he basically just shot up the police station. While Brian Dennehy was.
It's a good thing that the police told everybody to get out.
Well, yeah. Well, there were only 3 people in there the whole time.
No, I'm talking about the whole town.
Oh. Yeah, there was nobody in the town, was there?
No.
Well, the fire department and the police were the only people around because they were trying to put out the fires. But yeah, there wasn't anybody in the town.
And for somebody that didn't want to kill anybody, he didn't seem to care at the end.
He didn't kill anybody, though. Not one person.
Yeah, but he didn't know that wouldn't happen.
Well, no. But not one person. He didn't kill one person. Not even Dennehy, which I would have killed him.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't because he shot him from underneath.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of bullet holes, so I'm really surprised.
They were very good about making sure that you saw where the bullet holes went, though.
Yeah.
But by the time it was all said and done, he didn't kill anybody. Troutman walks in to kind of get him to give himself up. He breaks down and has a PTSD moment and talking about all of his conquests and everything that they
And
did.
then in the 2008 version, it was a senior moment.
Exactly. So he actually just talks him out. Like after all of this, after blowing up an entire town, taking down 15 or 20 guys, putting them in the hospital.
Just goes to show you, kids.
He just
use
puts
your
him
words.
in handcuffs, throws a jacket over him, and walks him out of the
Use your
building.
words. And and that's the end.
That's exactly how it ends.
Credits roll as he's walking away with a jacket over him.
You mentioned Pacino possibly playing him. I'm just trying to think of Pacino giving that speech at the end. How funny that would be.
I saw they blew up. It was my friend. It was my friend. You ever pulled off pieces of your friend? So that is the end of the movie. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, it is commercial time. Corey, where can the people find you at?
You can find me.
Nope. Vic, where can the people find you at?
He almost thought he had it. You can find me online at Miller King 51 on social media and Black and Angry. That's BLAQ and Angry on Xbox One.
Corey? I'm just kidding. You can find me, Indie Brad Scott, on Twitter and Instagram and BradScottComedy.com. Corey? Nope. Showdown Pod at the Showdown Pod and Showdown Podcast on Facebook. Click like somebody should. All right, Corey, go ahead.
Nobody's listening to you. Oh, is it my turn now?
Yeah.
You find
Just
me
kidding. No, go ahead.
at MKOgonzo on Twitter.
All right, let's get back to the show and let's find out if Rambo is truly a survivor. Welcome back to the show. Again, we were really, really limited with our musical options for this episode, so we decided that this one was going to be the Contra theme.
This movie definitely wasn't going to win anything for the score. For sure.
By the way, that's somebody playing the Contra game. It's a gun. It's a gun. But if you're, we're trying to hit your nostalgia bones with these episodes, so that's not a bad place.
Where is that
to
bone
go.
located, by the way?
It's
kinda wondering.
right near the penis. So, all right. Do we want to? We're gonna do the recast first,
You're
right?
gonna try and recast this thing, huh?
They really
Let's.
need-
No, there's a decent amount of parts. All right. So, John Rambo.
Want to start there?
I mean, isn't that what we usually do?
Yeah.
Channing Tatum.
Wow.
Pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the go-to for action. I think we've cast him in every action role.
I'm gonna do you one better.
Okay.
Gerard Butler.
That's a good one.
I lost his name. He's Sean Bean.
Sean.
Yeah, but Rambo doesn't die.
There's a couple shows where he doesn't die. Legend, he lives through that. Sean Bean is he's Ned Stark in Game of Thrones, and basically everything he's ever in, he dies within like the first 2 episodes. Everything except for Legend.
I've got a good one for Colonel, for Troutman.
Who's that?
Will Smith. Don't tell me he doesn't come across as like, especially now, older, retired colonel, who empathizes and is trying to talk down the voice of sensibility. No, you don't. Corey
I could go with that.
Corey's mad because I made him black. He's giving me that look.
Yes.
You don't agree though?
No. I was actually trying to think of who I would put in that role.
Well, yeah, and so if that's the case, then we kind of have to set it up to be
Tommy Lee Jones would be good too.
age demographic, because they'd have to be close enough to be in the same war. So if Will Smith was Troutman, who would be the Rambo for Will Smith?
Are we setting,
Martin Lawrence.
No.
Is Rambo a vet of
Oh
the
my
Vietnam War?
goodness.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's just a time frame. I mean, so say it's the Gulf War.
Yeah.
So if Will Smith is that, then I'm gonna throw Vin Diesel as his Rambo.
Rambo? That's not a bad combo.
Vin Diesel is his Rambo.
That's not a bad combo. Well, so if it's Channing Tatum, who's his Troutman?
His Troutman.
It's got to be around the same age range you said, right?
Yeah, somewhere around the same age range. Oh man, who would that be for him?
Ice Cube.
Oh, wow.
Hey, yo, Rambo, I got something to say.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, that,
These Iraqis trying to act all hard.
James Remar.
I don't know who that is.
Did you watch Dexter?
yes.
No.
He played Dexter's dad.
Too old.
You think he's too old?
Channing Tatum he's got to be around the same age, so he's got to be around the same age. Now, if you said Dexter, he could play.
Thanks for trying, Corey.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks.
Joel McHale is Channing Tatum's Troutman.
Thanks for having me.
So Bruce Willis is Troutman. Who would be his
His Rambo?
Because
Will Smith.
is Troutman.
Make Will Smith is.
They're on the same time. Are they the same?
Will Smith's a little younger, but I mean, Will Smith can play any age.
Black don't crack.
That's right. Your sheriff. Who's your Sheriff Teasel?
Oh, Sheriff Teasel.
Who's a good dick, basically.
James Remar.
Who?
James Remar.
Who's that?
That's who I just said for the Colonel.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise as the sheriff. I can actually see Tom Cruise as more of a Troutman.
Really? I see him
Yeah.
as a dicky sheriff, as a fucking douchey sheriff.
Nah, I don't know, man. When has he ever been the douchey guy? When has he not ever been on the good guy side? Besides Tropic Thunder, where he was just a crazy comedic character.
What about Walter Goggins?
Walter Goggins. I know that name. Who's that?
Hateful Eight. He was in Justified.
Yeah, I know. I got you now.
Samuel L. Jackson is the perfect Troutman.
Yeah.
No one's beating that. That's
true.
your pocket aces right there.
There you Now,
Sheriff, if you're trying to go take down this man, if you send in 200 men, you need to be sending in some motherfucking body bags.
him as Troutman, and then put Will Smith as Rambo.
I'm not saying he let you live. I'm saying, I don't know.
I don't know if
more
Will
lines.
Smith would be a good Rambo, though. I don't think he's got the body for it. I mean, because Rambo is kind of bulky. He's kind of muscular.
Bruh, go watch Independence Day again.
Yeah. Also, watch this. He was not that bulky. When they took his shirt off, he was not.
Will
that big.
Smith played Muhammad Ali
Well,
convincingly.
it's funny that you mentioned Muhammad Ali wearing the shirt.
Oh, yeah, shit. I forgot. Yeah, my Muhammad Ali shirt I got at Kohl's.
So Dwayne Johnson as
Rambo?
Rambo.
Oh, fuck yeah.
With Samuel L. Jackson as Troutman.
Somebody get Stallone on the phone. I'm sure he still owns this character. What would be Black Rambo name though? You can't call him Rambo. That's kind of white now. It's just what would be Black Rambo name?
Did we just honeymooner this
Daryl?
Daryl?
Darnell? Tyrone? First Blood?
No, remember
Junebug.
remember Rambo?
First Blood.
Oh God,
Those of you who can't see it, he's throwing up signs.
that would be everybody.
By the way, if you're listening right now,
obvious, by the way.
if you want to see a great photo, Television's Dave Landau was recently a feature act at Brad Garrett's comedy club in Las Vegas, and Brad Garrett himself hosted. And Brad actually liked Dave so much he's not going to be headlining there on New Year's Eve, which is a very big deal. But Dave got Brad to do a photo with him where Brad is throwing up like a generic gang sign, and Dave is spelling out the blood with his fingers, and it's the funniest thing. You can see, I might have it on his website too, but very funny. Anyways, yeah, Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock is like the best.
Okay, that's that. I think that's our lock for that. But here's who.
I think we just honeymoonered this movie though.
Why?
We took an all-white cast and just turned it all black cast.
all good.
An all-black
No,
cast.
that's how it should be. I mean, you're not going to give Straight Outta Compton a fucking Oscar nomination and,
Right.
like, suck a dick. Like, seriously. Like, really? You're going to give it to the whitest part of the movie, the screenwriter. Oh, okay. That's...
Yeah. So.
best original screenplay for the movie based on shit that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Why don't we give best original score?
Hey, we've got a black
The music
host.
that's already come platinum.
That came out for 20 years ago.
So since we've locked in what our new Rambo is, this is the top 5 actors who should play Rambo in the First Blood remake. So a number.
Oh, they're
one,
doing a First Blood remake?
No, this is just what
Hypothetical?
hypothetical. IMDb has this down.
Oh, okay.
So number 1, Tom Hardy.
Man, you know what? I kind of thought about him when he said Gerard Butler, but I don't know, like, because I don't know how effective it's gonna be when. I want you to stop following me. Stop following me.
Jeremy Renner.
Is that Hawkeye?
Yes.
Nah, too small.
Yeah, too small. I say no.
You do remember how Stallone's not a big guy as far as stature wise.
No, but
No,
nowadays,
But he was still.
he's kind of a bigger guy for the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't like wrestling
Andrew
big.
Lincoln.
Who's he?
Oh,
Walking
that's
Dead.
Walking Dead.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen the show.
Rick.
Rick.
Carl
Carl.
Ruffalo.
No.
The Hulk?
Yes.
And dude who was in like some movie about a lesbian daughter or some bullshit thing.
And Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, Thor? He'd be a good one.
They pulled out like 3 of these are from the fucking Avengers.
Where's Robert Downey Jr. at on that list?
Yeah. So that's what IMDb has down as the top 5 people.
Sheriff, you want me to... No, I'm not even going to try a Robert Downey Jr. impression. That was just so awful. So, who did we have as the sheriff?
Oh yeah, I haven't come up with that one yet. Hold on, I gotta think
Now, are we picking a black actor as well for this?
No,
one?
they can be
Doesn't matter.
anything.
It's just that's our lock
Okay,
for those two.
Corey's like, so I can be done with black people.
Right. You mean I have to pick a black guy?
Tommy Lee Jones might not be bad.
But are you just saying that because he was the fucking cop in The Fugitive?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that until you said something.
Because it's kind of the same character, right? Just he's in The Fugitive, he was really a good guy, and this one he's really a dick. But it's the same other type of character.
So it's not the same.
It's sheriff yelling at people to get there done. Give me a perimeter. The mayor's up my ass.
Yeah, maybe he's played that role too many times. Because
and then it was the fucking marshals, U.S. Marshals.
yeah, that was the other one I was trying to think of too.
Ooh, Wesley Snipes
I was just thinking that
could
too.
be.
But I didn't want to bring up another black guy.
Well, no. Wesley Snipes can either be Rambo or Troutman. That's the beautiful thing about Wesley Snipes.
true.
He can play them both, to be honest.
He plays a dual role.
Tyler Perry's Rambo. Just Medea. Y'all motherfuckers are gonna die if you don't let me go.
He'd be like, "Hello, Rambo."
I see you up in the tree. So cop, besides Tommy Lee Jones, who else do you have as asshole cop? Who's the big asshole of movies? Huh?
Is there a certain age range we're looking at? Or does it matter?
I mean, it just needs to be somebody that can pass as a sheriff.
Andrew
Who's like, huh?
Andrew Lincoln.
I was waiting for him to say it.
Who?
I really was.
Rick.
The sheriff.
Oh, Jesus. Lucky my
All right,
phone locked
so
up.
hold on. I got it. I'm gonna make it.
Hold on.
I'm going to make it an all black cast, and I'm going to have Idris Elba be the sheriff.
Is that the guy that was like, I'm the captain now?
No, that's some dude that probably won't see another movie set.
Sorry, Vic.
What is that from?
All the names sound the same.
He's thinking of that Tom Hanks movie where
Captain Phillips or whatever.
Captain-
Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm the captain now.
The Somali pirate.
Doesn't he look like he would be named? What was it?
Idris Elba.
Doesn't he look like that would be his name?
Idris Elba is.
Tell me if I held up that picture and said, this is Idris Elba, you wouldn't go, oh, yeah, okay.
Sure,
What, am I
that
sponsoring him?
Did I give his village a goat?
For the price of a cup of coffee?
I gave his village a goat and a well. No, Idris Elba. He plays. Did you see Pacific Rim?
Yes.
Okay, he's the black guy, the commander. In
I don't
Pacific
remember
Rim.
it, though.
How about?
Oh, no.
He's Heimdall and the guy that controls the Bifrost in Thor.
I've got a good sheriff.
he should be the next James Bond.
Yeah, that's actually they've talked.
Ooh,
about
Black
it,
James Bond?
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Talked about it.
So I want the Panthers to win the Super Bowl because I want Cam Newton. I want him to rub it in. I want him to dance because a lot of people hate Cam Newton because he's black.
Yeah.
Like he's.
Well, just like Warren Moon back in the day, they did the same thing to him too.
We talked about this earlier on my other amazing podcast I do, WrestleMania. I talked about Titus O'Neil is too black for wrestling. Like he's really dark skin, and he kind of has his intro music is rap,
swagger,
and he's got the swagger, and he's too black for like white people to get comfortable with. So he'll never be a champion, which is a damn shame because he's great. But same type of deal. Sorry, go ahead. I don't remember where I was going with that.
I think a lot of our listeners are like, I don't know.
Went on a trance.
What's that original shit? Anyway,
all black Rambo cast. We got it.
Have we finished casting it?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm
Oh no! I got to give you my sheriff,
Oh yeah, you're sheriff. Go ahead.
John Goodman.
John Goodman would make a great sheriff.
He can play that angry, pissed off white guy, especially if you have the black Rambo and Troutman, because he can.
It almost seems like he would be reviving his character from Red State.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
No, because in that one he was the
like
opposite. He was
he was
crazy
like,
liberal good guy.
Yeah.
And this one he's asshole dick bad guy.
There was something. What? Never mind. Anyway, so what do we think of this? Does it hold up?
So Vic survives.
Is there something between survives and doesn't?
No, Vic.
It's either one or the other.
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
It's not the kind of Survivor series. It's
I'm going to say no.
No?
No.
Corey?
Hell
not,
yes.
Not to when I first saw it.
So already this is a first for the show because I think we all agreed on Street Fighter, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think we all said it held up.
Yep.
Or no, I think he may have said no.
Yeah, I don't remember.
This is why we should actually listen to some of these back.
Yeah.
But
In my defense.
okay, this might be a first
Yeah.
in the history
could
of the
be.
show, or if not, it's still only a second.
That's true.
Yep.
Because last episode we all agreed it didn't hold up.
Not at all.
Labyrinth, and you say yes.
I
you
say-
say no.
I say yeah, dude.
So the deciding vote is on me as to whether
you,
it's a
yeah.
Survivor or not, right?
Absolutely.
That's the format of this show that we're making up.
Sure.
As we go along.
We'll change it next week if we have to.
It's a Survivor.
Yeah.
Yep, it is a Survivor. I honestly had seen it when I was a kid, but it had been a long time, because I just wasn't it's not like Rocky for me. But I enjoyed it. I actually liked it more than I thought. I was not looking that forward to doing this episode when you said it, but I enjoyed watching it. So it's a Survivor.
All right.
There you go.
I don't think it's an 80% certified fresh Survivor like Rotten Tomatoes does, but
They still give it an 85%.
it was something crazy.
I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, so which you can find at NKO Gonzo.
Look at he's trying to sneak that shit in when we're not doing it. You see that? We're going to put a stop to that.
He an asshole.
You asshole.
All right, that is the show. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. As it is a Survivor. And we hope you will join us for our next episode, Leprechaun. We're going to find out in honor of St. Patrick's Day if that movie stands the test of time. For Corey Miller, Vic Miller.
And Brad
And me.
Scott.
And Brad Scott.
Well, I was asked if you guys had anything to say.
No.
No?
Stay tuned next week for another episode of The Battles.
Yeah, the battles will be back next week. There comes the winner.
When your name
Isn't this a strange movie to end on a power ballad?
I don't even know if it's a power ballad.
Monster ballad or whatever.
Well, in that, it's just like, it's so, like, he's just kind of walking slowly and, like, nothing's
He's got
really
the
going on.
it's the Hulk. The Hulk.
Yeah, I was going to say the ending of the Hulk. Yeah, he was walking
He's got
away.
the Hulk.
All right, so it is.
John.
So not only was he a survivor in that forest,
He shut up.
He survived.
he's a survivor of the showdown. So again, for Vic Miller, Corey Miller, I am your favorite Brad Scott,
And he went to jail.
and we hope you will join us next time. You think they're gone?